Hey, what is up, everyone? Coach Oliver here. We have another awesome client interview about to get started. Now, without me introducing him, why don't he introduce himself as he is one of my favorite clients that I've been working with. All my clients are my favorite clients.
Hi, everyone. My name is Joshua Giddings. I am the vice president and founder of the Mortgage Collective. We are a full service mortgage lending boutique serving the greater Philadelphia area and beyond. I'm also an entrepreneur, have a lot of other side businesses that I do as well. And also, I coach and mentor as well. So I'm a firm believer everybody needs a coach. So here I am.
Yeah. And Josh and I have been working together for past 4 months, and we're actually continuing with another 3 months where we're really hitting hard on the physical training, but also again the mindset, emotional, spiritual aspect. So, Josh, why don't we start with kind of where were you at before even meeting me? Before we even met up that one time where we first connected, like where were you at in your life, business, you know, to
Yeah.
paint that picture for people?
So, business was going well, right? I've had plenty of sales coaches in the past, mainly business coaches, okay? And kind of tapped out that arena where I'm like, okay, another business coach really isn't going to show me a better way or a newer way how to do business or help me on the business aspect of things. So I was kind of status quo. Hey, we're making money. The business is doing great. All my clients are happy. All my real estate agents are happy. Where you get kind of comfortable, which is
Yeah.
a very bad word in my opinion. So I was fairly comfortable, but I always knew, I said, you know what, everybody needs a coach. Even Tom Brady has a coach, and he's at the
Mhm.
top of his game. So who am I to think that I don't need a coach? So, meeting Oliver, I decided to go in a different direction because I've always been focused on a business coach, but never thought about life coaching. So I said, you know what, let me give it a shot. And if anything, I'm disappointed I didn't go that route that much sooner. Because I found it extremely important, because if your personal life isn't in order, there's no way your business is in order. So you might think you're doing good in
Love
business
that.
and making money, but your home life's probably a wreck, and I'll bet money on that. So you can't have both be in order if one is not in order, if that makes sense. So I was at the point of my life where my business was in order, but I wanted to get my life in order. And not saying I had a bad life, I live a great life, but just because of that does not mean that I can't take it to the next level. So in other words,
Mhm.
you don't get any growth by being comfortable. And I knew that. So I said, okay, let me go in a different direction, and here I am.
I love that. And that's kind of what happens too, is like you had this success, like you had a successful business, right? And your life wasn't in shambles, but we kind of saw that you were serving everyone else, but maybe not yourself as much. And I think that's important to note that like you've had business coaches and you were taking a different route with hiring a life coach, right? And someone that was younger than you, right? Which
Right.
doesn't really garner the results, but it's also something that some people might question. Um, and I think you taking that leap has shown just in all areas of your life, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Well, yeah, like we discussed, time is a man-made
yeah,
construct, you know what I mean? So age really has nothing to do with it. It has to deal with capability, you know what I mean? And you're an extremely capable coach. I didn't look at you as being a young coach. I just looked at you as being a coach. Some people might think I'm old. I'm too old to be a coach. But I'm caught up
it's
with the
crazy.
times. I'm pretty hip, no cat. You know what I mean? So, um, I understand as
That's
well.
funny.
So age is, a non-factor in it. It's the value that's being brought, right? And that's what I look for in anything that I do. And I saw a lot of value in what you did for me, and that was the key component. So, if a lot of people are your coach has to be 60, 70 years old and seen everything, that's not always the case, because it has to deal a lot differently than just time.
Yeah. right? It's like, how are we approaching that time? What are we learning from it? What is my expertise compared to your expertise, right? Like if you wanted to fix your electric in your house, you're going to hire an electrician because they're a professional. You can maybe learn how to do it yourself, I'm sure, through YouTube and resources, but you want someone who's been doing it for some time to do it for you. So it's kind of in that same aspect. And I kind of want to bring it to the very beginning, right? Because we had a couple times that we met and they were powerful, but how was that first session that we had, right? Where I gifted you a session, we went through that, and just those first couple interactions where you're like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
it was
talk
literally,
about that experience, right?
yeah,
Because
it
you
was,
had no idea of like what you were getting into. You just kind of knew that like, yeah, I need to, get back in shape and do these things that I know are healthy for me, and I'm not doing it right now, right? But then we kind of like went maybe a different route with that first time we met.
yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is it's just totally different with the coaching. With business coaching, it's very regimented. I need 50 calls a day. You need to make X amount of contacts a day. You got to have your numbers here. So it's very defined. You really you go right into the box, right? And it was different with you because really what we did is almost like a guided meditation is what I would call it. You can correct my verbiage later. But a guided meditation where literally I was able to unlock my subconsciousness and bring those thoughts, feelings, knowledge forward and have merged that with my conscious being. And in doing so, it's made me actually a more powerful person. Without trying to sound mystical or anything like that, is I'm really unlocking my full potential of what I'm able to do as a human being for myself, but importantly as well, be able what I can do for others as well. So it was totally different coaching. It was a totally different experience. And for me, the why behind things is extremely important, especially for comprehension, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm going to teach you the mortgage business, I'm going to teach you the why behind it. If you're going to be an electrician, just don't know, the electricity part of it. Know the why you're grounding that outlet, right? So for that, it started to let me know more about the why of things and why I am who I am and why I do
Mm,
things I do a certain way. Why do I have certain behaviors that I thought maybe were positive for me that weren't good? And then there was behaviors that I had inside me that were positive that I never really unlocked. I kept them at bay. So by bringing that to the forefront, I'm definitely living a more fulfilled life, a life by design, not by default, which I'm very big on. I believe everything needs to be calculated, planned out. And by having that interaction and going on a deep dive, was clear. The biggest thing is, for a lot of guys and women as well, that are in power positions, the alphas of your industries,
high achievers.
yeah, it's hard to sometimes say, yo, I need help, right? Because a lot of times people think, asking for help is a sign of weakness, and it's not. It's actually a sign of strength that you're able to check your ego and empty your cup, right? So that way you can be poured into, and then that way you can pour into others. That's the kind of things that they really don't teach you in business coaching, right? So that's why
Hmm.
I really like the life coaching aspect of it, because it translate and actually poured into my business even more, where now I'm living a fulfilled life and a fulfilled business. Because for me, I think work-life balance is BS, because it's just life. You need life balance, right? Every day we got to get up and go to work,
Yeah,
but
I
also at
love
the same
that.
time, yeah, we got life responsibilities as well. So I was only focusing on my business and then being a terror in my home life, and that negatively affects my relationships with my family, my wife, everybody else. Not healthy, right? If I'm putting more attention to my business than my home or myself, that's a problem. But a lot of us business owners, that's the way we operate, and we get burnt out.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing, and that's kind of where I came to play, and I think you saw that value where you could give that time back to yourself, right? Start to serve yourself, start to receive the love that you're giving to everyone else, and in your business back to yourself, which, as you saw, when you hit the core of everything, when you grow the core, which is you, everything else grows around it. And I think you mentioned a really important word, which was deep dive, right? Like, it's hard for me to explain exactly what I do, right? I think I mentioned that because if you've never been on a roller coaster, you can understand the concept of it,
Yep.
right? You can see it, it looks kind of scary. Like, oh yeah, I'm sure it's fun, but until you're on there going up, you're like, oh God, I'm here, right? Then you experience it, you're like, oh wait, that was actually a lot of fun, right? And I'd love for you to talk a little bit more about that, because I think that's something that not everyone's maybe used to, right? Like, close your eyes and then dive
Mhm.
deep, breathe in, right? And like that whole experience can kind of seem foreign, but that's kind of the basis, the main thing that we've done to really unlock, as you said, your subconscious to connect with your conscious and bring about a lot of awareness of like, why am I the way I am? Why am I operating this way? And like, here's these things I didn't even know that I had within me. And I think that's invaluable to me. I believe invaluable because you've been able to bring that out and translate that in everything that you've been doing. So would love to hear more of your experience of kind of those specific sessions that we've done that have kind of taken this different approach of maybe something you've never done before.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the key is you got to be open. You got to be willing to take that deep dive. You
Mm.
got to check your ego. And I know it's very hard for all you alphas out there, all your high D personality types. It's very hard for us to do that. But in order for us to experience that growth, we have to be coachable ourselves, right? If you're out there and you're coach, you cannot be an effective coach if you're not coachable yourself. Also, you need a coach as well. So that was one of the things that I know I needed. So the beautiful part about it is by taking these deep dives, we were able to unlock areas that I needed to improve upon, right? Things that are struggling, maybe things in the past that help make me who I am today, almost like false self-fulfilling prophecies or
Mm.
self-definement of myself saying, oh, I can only go up to here, or I'm only can do this. Or, there's people that believe in them, in their minds that they're not worthy of love, and we got to dive deep and find out why. Like, why do you feel that way? Was it something in your childhood? Was there something traumatic? Or maybe it's just your mindset needs to be broken free from those chains that you put on it. So part of it is, deep diving, finding out like, that dark wolf inside of you, what's holding you back, right? And then also tapping into the white wolf that's inside of you as
Mm.
well, the light side of things, and bringing that to the forefront, which was really key for me because us as human beings, it's so much easier for us to be negative, right? And if you see somebody, it's so much
So that.
easier for us to bitch or rag on them, like, oh, look at that person, or loser, or they suck, or this, that, or the other thing, right? It takes more effort and change your mind to think positively. But once you make that switch internally,
Mm-hmm.
subconsciously, you now start to think positively. So instead of when I start feeling a negative thought come in, I immediately take that energy and I reroute it and turn it into positive energy, to the point where I joke with you and almost egotistically I say, I'm like gravity because people realize that I'm different. Waiting in the line at Wawa, I had a woman, how they always say, hey, how's your day? And I'm like, phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
Not like, hey, good, like I'm half asleep, getting my coffee. I'm already up and at 'em, attacking the day, doing what I got to do. I'm feeling great, so of course I'm doing phenomenal. She's like, phenomenal. Wow. And then it wasn't all about me. I asked her sincerely. I said, well, how's your day going? Because obviously she was like, wow, why is this guy doing
Yeah.
phenomenal? So she tells me how her car's broke down. It's in the shop. She's got to spend all this money. And I said, yeah, I get that, but you're focusing on the negative. Let's focus on the positive right now. You're at your job right now, that you're earning a living. That's going to give you the ability and means to pay for your car. You have a car that can take you to and from your job, right? And you're blessed because think about how the other half lives, or having to wait for a bus to get to your job or whatever. I said, you're blessed. You have first world problems here that you have to get your car fixed in the shop, where most people don't have that and don't have a job. Let's focus on the positive in your life today. And she was just like, whoa. She was like, thank you for so much for putting that in perspective for me. And as I leave, you could tell, even though they got masks on, you could tell she was now smiling under her mask, realizing like, yeah, it stinks that my car's in the shop, but life ain't that bad. And there's a total stranger at Wawa. So that's what I'm saying is you start to vibrate on a different frequency. And
Mm,
it's an attraction model. So we always talk in business about building an attraction model for our business. Why aren't we building an attraction model for ourselves? Right? We want people to be attracted to us because that's only going to help me in my personal life. It's also going to help me in my business as well. I want to be a well-liked guy. And I know if I'm the best version of myself, then that's great. I am serving everybody that I need to serve. So that was like life-changing for me, is literally, even just after a few sessions with you, the interactions, especially with strangers, was just on like a different level. Like they were literally like
just started to
gravity to me.
shift.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, there's something different about this guy. Why is this guy happy? Or why, there's something about this guy. Like I say, good morning, how's your day, to hundreds of people. Why did she stop and talk with me? Because I'm different.
Yeah. And I think that that's just a representation of you doing the work, right? And like
Hmm.
diving deep into yourself, where we're just removing some of these emotional blocks, mental blocks, subconscious blocks, for yourself to come to a level of literally vibrating at a higher frequency, right? And I think because you were a catalyst to your own growth, you're now becoming a catalyst to other people's growth just from your state of being alone, which is amazing, which is exactly what we're doing here, right? Is helping you serve yourself so you can
Hmm.
serve others. And just through that, you're literally changing people's days and lives subsequently, right? The ripple effect
Oh,
just from
absolutely.
your energy. And that's
Yep.
so powerful and that's so important and that's so beyond any materialistic thing that we can gain or receive because, again, you're doing the work on yourself. You're becoming your best version of yourself. And I love that. And
Hmm.
that's kind of like the meat of what we do is like we do these one-on-one sessions, we dive deep, we bring clarity of what's going on in your life, we go even more into like why are you the way you are, and going into maybe certain past memories, certain past circumstances, going into the shadow side, right, the dark wolf and the light wolf, right,
Yep.
identifying that and finding clarity and acceptance and synergy with those parts of ourselves that maybe we don't like to look at or we ignore or kind of unconscious. And we kind of shine a light on that so that your energy can raise up, your level of vibration can raise up, your mindset rises up so that you're affecting people literally just by them being around you. And so that's like the core of it, and which is so important with how you mentioned too how high achievers, entrepreneurs, business owners, just people who are trying to achieve things in their life, right? And they're usually doing a lot, but that they can also get help, right? Have the space to dive deep into themselves instead of doing so much, being a little bit more. And so that's like the one side. That's like the main thing that we do is that. And I know on the back end we have just the app that I use, some of the fitness stuff and the habits, and kind of just talk a little bit about that, right? Because that's kind of like we hit it hard with the sessions here, and then we kind of have on the back end making sure we're getting the mind, body, and spirit in line
Absolutely.
every day.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, wow, that's the big challenge, right? And I always say like the first love is self-love, right? If you can't love yourself, who can you love, right? And it's the same thing is I have to be able to pour into myself before I pour into others, right? And that's something that you don't learn in school. You don't really learn that from your parents. You certainly don't learn that from a business coach. It's like do, and then reap the financial benefits. And meanwhile, you're withering away on the vine because you're not getting fed, right? So sometimes we have to be selfish in order to be selfless, if that makes sense. If my cup's empty, how the hell can I pour into you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the things that I learned is it all starts with me. So the same thing for those of you that are watching, it all starts with you. But the first thing is number one, you got to check that ego. And you got to be able to open up and dive deep. And a lot of people sometimes will be, well, I'm afraid. or I'm fearful. You got to remove that from your life, those words from your vocabulary, in order to grow. And that was the thing is really, I'm very coachable being a coach myself, and you just got to empty your cup and go with it, because literally it's life changing. It's been an amazing journey. I mean, for lack of a better word, I mean, I feel powerful, if that makes sense, because my business is in order, my home life is in order, right? So what goes with that as well, I was so busy pouring into others, I wasn't paying attention to myself. I was on the road
Yeah.
24/7, eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner out of my car, eating shit. I wasn't even fueling my physical body, let alone my spiritual, side and my mental side. That wasn't getting filled up either. So literally all my tanks were empty. And somehow I was able to keep going and going and going. Thank God I didn't get to the point of burnout. But if I was continuing on that course, it was pretty opportune that we connected when we did, because honestly,
Hmm.
if I was going that route another 3 months, I would have burnt out. And I'm okay saying that. I would have burnt out, and I'm okay with that, because that's not a sign of weakness, because I went and did something about it. And that's your sign of
Yeah.
strength, is owning up to it and saying, I'm not going to accept this. I'm going to make a change, and then doing it. So one of the things that I've always not always struggled with, not in high school football, I couldn't pay somebody to gain a pound,
Yeah.
right? But now, as you get older, your metabolism slows down, you put on weight, you're on the road, you're eating like crap. So I was letting my physical self go as well. So the other beautiful part that Oliver does is, it's mind and body, and holding me accountable with the gym. He's got a great app that he can customize the workouts for.
Hmm.
So regardless of your body type, your needs, previous injuries, stuff like that, he can work around all that and make it fun. And the difference is what I like working with Oliver is, and what I coach as well, we want to approach things not as tasks, but as forming habits, right?
Yeah.
And that was the best part, is because Oliver has changed the gym for me as far as being a task into a habit where I want to go. And then if I don't go, my body craves it, like, yo, bro, it's nice that we had a day off, but like, I want to be in motion. I want to do,
Yeah.
so your body gets addicted to it in a positive way. It's a positive addiction. So it's changing your mind from being addicted to that, quick meal at McDonald's, to very easily being able to, go into a Wawa or something, grabbing some fruit, and still be able to satiate it and honoring your body, instead of disrespecting it. So that was key. Excuse me, is key as well, is I want to have all facets of my life dialed in: my business, my personal life. I want to be the best business owner. I want to be the best coach, the best mentor, the best husband, but I also want to be the best version of me. So not only mentally, but we also forget about the physical aspect sometime as well. So I love that you have that as part of your coaching, because I used to have a saying, look good, feel good, look good, right? Well, if I'm not taking care of my body, that's going to affect my mindset, or I'm not going to be fully happy or in love with myself. And I'm not going to be able to share that happiness and love with others. So we got to take care of the physical as much as we do the mental. And that's what we're doing in, our coaching program together. So that's just been tremendous for me, because I need that accountability and those habit building items, not tasks.
Yeah, and I love that because anytime I hear, yeah, anyone say, "Oh, I need to do these things. I need to do these things," I always say, "You don't need to do anything."
Yeah,
I will put in the app, meditate, journal, read, like do these habits for your mental wellness as well, your spiritual wellness and your physical wellness, walk, movement, listen to this audio, and all those habits can be custom too, but it's also like you don't have to do them. You're not doing them for me. You're doing them for you, and we really get clear of like, why do you want to do them? Like, what is your vision for yourself, and who are you becoming, and who do you want to be, right? And then we get super clear on that, because that's what we're doing, right? We're shifting your identity into the person that does the thing to get the result, right? And I think that's one of the main things I have focused on as well, and we've been focusing on, is like, we're not too worried about the result, right? The result is going to happen out of a byproduct of the procedure and the progress that we make day after day, right?
Absolutely. Too many people, I agree with you. Too many people put the focus on the result when you got to put the focus on the activities, those habits, because
Yeah.
exactly the byproduct is going to be the result that you want. But we're such a results oriented society. You see everything on Instagram. Look at me, look at everything I have, look how hot I am, you know. But a lot of that it's just a shell. There's no substance behind it. But if you're able to create that substance behind it, you're going to have that outward appearance, and it's not going to be an appearance, it's going to be genuine. And that was huge for me, because you're exactly right. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to be here right now. I didn't need to get out of bed this morning, right? I really didn't,
Yeah.
right? But I chose, and I want to, and I hunger and I yearn to get up and attack the day and help people and be with you, right? And coaching and mentoring and hitting the gym. I want to do it. And the beautiful part is, when we change our mind into wanting to do those things, right? We're going to reap the benefits, and it's the byproduct of those actions. Everybody wants that instant gratification, but
Yeah.
they're not willing to put the work in. And the work isn't much. The work is in letting go and saying, I don't have all the answers. I am not perfect. I don't know everything. I do a great job, but I want to be better, right? And acknowledging that, and then literally submitting, right? And saying, I don't have all the answers, and I need help. I need to be coached and get coached up. Most people won't take that step. That's the hard part. If you get past that part, it's going to be a whole new world for you. And I think that's the key with the coaching is anybody that's seeking coaching, you got to make that conscious decision and check yourself, check that ego. Is the first step to get that help. And then the rest is just breaking down those walls and just really living up to your full potential, which has just been amazing for me, unlocking it, where now we're at the point, I mean, we're still young in our journey,
Yeah.
and I see how much my subconsciousness has merged with my consciousness, and is literally like made me a better person. And I keep saying it, it's made me more powerful. So for those alphas out there who are like, oh, I don't need help, don't you want to be more powerful? That goes hand in hand with what we do. And it's not mystical, it's not anything strange. It's just, living up to your full potential. Just because things are good does not mean things can't change.
Yeah, and we're making the unconscious conscious. And the
Hmm.
thing about that is, we're making the unconscious, which again, you're unconscious to. There was a lot of things that we unlocked within you that you might not, like, you didn't realize were affecting you. And through those sessions, which again were like an hour to 2 hours plus, where we're allowing you to have that space to dive into yourself, dive into your unconscious, your subconscious, and find that clarity, right? As I'm kind of helping guide you there,
Hmm.
you're finding so many answers within yourself. And that's what a coach is, right? I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not like directing exactly, do these, do these, do this, right? I'm just a mirror to your own self. I'm literally bringing out the answers within you. I'm just helping you navigate to those answers. And if you've never done that before and you aren't versed in that type of work, it's very hard to do that ourselves, because we have our own bias, right? Like, trying to do what I do, but like by yourself, would be really hard if you've never done it before, right?
Right.
Because again, like, if it's unconscious, we're not aware of it until we become aware of it, and then we can
Yep.
change it. So
Yeah.
I think what you talked about is super important, because a
Yep.
lot of people have worked with business coaches, or worked with just personal trainers, or maybe just worked with a mindset coach. And I think what I value myself on is that I'm bringing kind of a lot, mind, body, and spirit,
Hmm.
all together with it, right? We have the life coaching sessions where we're going deep, diving into the spiritual, emotional, and mental side of things. And then we have the physical side where,
Yep.
either we're meeting in person and doing the training sessions, or you're following the program inside the app and the habits inside the app, where you know what to do every single day, right? And I think the mix of those two right? As we get more clear on what it is you want and how we can get there, just makes you feel, just like you said, powerful. And so for anyone watching this, what would you say to them if they're kind of like on the fence, right? Maybe they're doing well in their business, their home life could maybe be better, but they're kind of comfortable with where they're at because they're kind of like succeeding, they're established, but they want more and they know there's a little bit more. What would you kind of say to that person who's kind of on the fence of maybe hiring a coach or even thinking about, working with a coach?
Right. So number one, check your ego. You can never have growth unless you check your ego. So that would be the first step. Number two, I would say things don't have to be bad or destitute, right? In order for you to coach. Where I was at in my life, I did not live a bad life. There's a lot of people that would have traded places with me, right? And want to
Yeah.
live my life. So it wasn't like I had a bad life or an unfulfilled life. I had a good life, right? I want a phenomenal life, right? I want to have an amazing life. I want to live life to its fullest, right? So in order to do that, I made that conscious decision, to go ahead and move forward. So you don't have to wait for things to be bad to get a coach to get things back on track. Why would you wait for that? Be proactive, right? And make your life better than what it is. Like for those of you out there, don't you want to be a better spouse? Don't you want to be a better leader to your people? And I just made a conscious decision to say, yeah, just because things are going good does not mean that you need to change, because if you don't change, look at the companies that didn't change. Where's Blockbuster? Gone, right? They didn't
Yeah.
change. They're like, dude, we got movies on lock. This little mail service called Netflix can't take us out, right? Now look at them, gone. Everything was good. Everything was good. Everything was going peachy keen with Blockbuster. Blockbuster stock, everything was doing great. But they let their own arrogance and their own mind throw up that wall, and they didn't change with the times, and they got burned. So don't be Blockbuster. Keep evolving with the times. Look at Apple,
Don't be
right? They lost
Blockbuster.
their head of Apple, right? Steve Jobs is gone, but they keep pumping out products that we all want. I just got the iPhone 13. Like, I keep wanting it because they set it up correctly to continue that growth. There was nothing wrong with Apple, but they set it up that way, once Steve Jobs was long gone, the business can still go. So that's what I'm doing, is if I go, guess what? My branch is still going to run because I'm grooming all the right people. How am I able to groom the right people? Because I'm able to do it myself and pour into them and help them and try and help them live their best life. So my best advice is don't wait till it's broken. Do it now. What are you waiting for? You cannot give me a bona fide reason as to why you're waiting or saying no. You just can't. I'll call you out every time. I'll win the argument every time.
I love that. And that
And
right
that's the
there,
hard truth.
yeah, and that right there is the foundation of, what this program really is, which is inner self leadership. You've been able to lead yourself. There's inner executives in your life, right? The chief physical officer, chief mental officer, chief emotional officer, chief spiritual officer, through the habits, through the work that we've been doing. And because of that, you're able to pour all of that leadership into everyone that you talk to, even strangers, right? And that's the
Exactly.
core of
That
that.
that that's where like the huge aha was, people I know saw the change, and like, Josh different. He vibrates on a different level. There's something about him. Like, he's just different. But that's people that know me. But when you got pure strangers stopping you to talk all the time now, it's wild, man. It is wild. I just had people just starting conversations over the wildest things. I was grocery shopping. This nice old lady behind me goes, "Oh, your shopping bags, they're beautiful." And I was like, "Well, thank you." I said, "Yeah, my wife got them. I think she got them at Target. We're trying not to use plastic bags, and all this stuff." She was like, "Oh my God, that's so nice." And like, I was like, "Well, I hope you have a happy new year. God bless you and everything." She was like, "Oh, you too." Just like a friendly interaction. Like, it's weird. Like, people will just come out of the woodwork. And especially like if you're in a referral based business like myself, I want as many people to talk to me in the course of a day and vice versa, you
Yeah.
know? So it's like a natural attractor. And here's the thing, if you're running around all day with a scowl on your face and you're wondering why people are driving by you, beeping at you, giving you the finger and everything else, or they're abrasive towards you, it's because that's the energy you're putting out. If you're always wondering why people are being shitheads towards you, stop putting out shitty energy. It's that simple, you know? Like, let's call it as we say it.
No,
I don't pull
giving
any
it
punches,
straight.
folks.
No,
I don't pull any punches. So I'm giving out love and grace and acceptance, and I get it back. You get back what you put out. You put that negativity out in the world, it's gonna come back to you. You know what I mean? So I just live a positive life. I choose to live positive. You want to bring negative energy my way, bring it, because I'm going to take that energy, I'm going to retool it and give it back to you positive. So, it's just I'm on a different level now. It
mm,
is what it is. Not to brag, I'm on a different level.
yeah, he's quite literally going Super Saiyan for anyone who knows,
Yeah, that's my
uh,
goal. I'm going all the way up. I saw the map of consciousness. Now, there's no way I could be like Jesus or the Buddha or Muhammad,
not
but if
right.
I come close, right? If I come close, I'm good, right? It's like a lot of people, if you got goals this year, say that you want to make 30 million, right? And you make 28, okay, you're doing good, right? So,
Love
I
that.
try and model myself to be as high as I can go up on that chain, even if I might not be able to get there, that's okay. But I'm going to be the best version of myself. I'm going to be the best version that God intended me to be. He created me for a reason, and I'm here on this planet to change lives. So,
Mm. I love that, and I think with that we'll kind of end because, you know, you hit the nail right on the head. You know, no pulling the punches with exactly what people need to hear. So if you're watching this and you're hearing this and you're feeling some type of way, it's super easy. Josh can even contest. All I do is I have a conversation with someone and see if there's anywhere, place, or position that I can help, right? And I also take someone through a coaching session before them even committing so that they can understand this process and understand this work, right? And Josh went through that before we even committed, and he signed up on the spot because he realized the value of that. He realized, like, actually, yes, I want to do this work. And that's the biggest thing I saw with Josh too, was like, you wanted to do the work and you were ready to do it. And that's the biggest thing with me. Even if there's some fear or uncertainty, it's just like, no, I want to do this. I want more for my life. I want to improve. I want to grow. And I want to be the best version of myself. I want to be the elite version of myself, right? Become Your Elite, which is
man.
also the company's name as well. And that's what we did here. And so, Josh, why don't you let everyone know, how they can get in touch with you? Maybe they want to just ask you some questions, or maybe they're looking for a mortgage, and looking for a new home.
Yep.
Let people
Well,
know where
real
they can
easy.
find you.
You'll see it right here, my signature right here at Who is Josh G. I'm on Instagram. Give me a follow. I'll follow you back, and check out my page, because that right there is going to show you the results of the coaching. I post a lot of motivational videos, a lot of stuff about business. It's not just all boring mortgage stuff. Okay. I mainly talk about life, building generational wealth, how to be a better you. So yes, if you guys have any questions about the benefits, need a testimonial, as you see, I shoot straight. I don't sugarcoat, because yesing to death doesn't get anybody anywhere. So yeah, feel free to reach out for whatever your needs are, because I am here to help. I want to see you live your best fulfilled life. I want to see you become your elite. Let's go.
Let's go. Love it. And of course, guys, if you have any questions, just reach out. You want to kind of have the same experience that Josh just went through. Again, we can have a conversation, figure some things out, take you through a session, and show you what the work is like. Take care, everyone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do the session. If you have any doubts in your mind, just do the one session, because it's different and it will be life changing. So take that first step, get on that roller coaster, take the first step, take that first session. And I guarantee you'll enjoy the ride, because I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to the future. We've only just begun and we've made amazing progress. I can't wait to see what the future holds. So, Oliver, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, I am so thankful for you and meeting you, and our friendship, the coaching, and everything else. You're just an amazing human being, and you're helping me be the best version for my people, my family, and everything. So forever grateful and gratitude towards you. Thank you.
And right back to you, Josh. Seriously, so much gratitude and appreciation just to see your growth and willingness to change and do this process, which can not be easy at times, not easy to change. So, I'm sending you all the love in the world. Thank you for this. And as always, guys, I'll talk to you later.
You got
Peace,
it.
peace.
Let's go.